Hello everyone, welcome to this video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Katie and I am a flute player that does covers of video game, anime, TV, film, music, and if you're interested in that, I will leave a link to all of my videos up there. I also stream over on Twitch at twitch.tv/KatieShesko, where I do things like Breath of the Wild, board games, and sometimes games with my viewers. So if any of that interests you, please consider becoming a patron over on patreon.com/KatieShesko. There you can find my monthly updates, reactions that'll be coming up in the week, as well as any reactions that don't quite make it to YouTube for one reason or another. I am currently not monetized on YouTube, partially because of how I do my reactions, where I tend to watch the full video first and then go back and do my analysis. So if these kinds of videos interest you, please consider becoming a patron. My lowest tier is $2, and that kind of support allows me to continue making content for my YouTube. If being a monthly patron is not your jam, please consider donating to my Ko-fi. I will leave a link to my Ko-fi in the description below where you can make a one-time donation. Your support is greatly appreciated. Today I will be reacting and then analyzing Burn It Down from Worlds 2020 League of Legends. I have played a little bit of League of Legends. I'm not very good at it. It's mostly a mid laner. I just don't really have the time too much anymore to devote to full games, but League of Legends is a pretty interesting game, and I have covered Phoenix. I have not done a music video for it yet, but I will leave a link in the description below where you can go stream Phoenix. It was a fun song, but I definitely need to do a video soon. Haven't quite found the right cosplay for it yet. But since World is up and the new video is out, I figured now would be a great time to watch it and kind of analyze it. So let's dive in. Of course, Faker's in it.
This ain't where the legends come from. You know what a hero looks like. Pretty little flower, won't you sit back down and go play nice? So keep talking, keep laughing. One day you wish you had it.
It's got a great beat. I really enjoy it.
Maybe it's time they meet their dragon. If you're gonna hold me now.
I'm really liking the juxtaposition between like real life and then obviously like futuristic. Interesting that they're using the like animated and not the actual champions. They're using the players, it looks like. I don't know enough about the players. I know a handful of them. I really like how they have the selections as if they were real life implements. I'm digging the beat. It's catchy. It's catchy. Now I just think in sync.
It starts right now. Baby, you're surrounded, but your money where your mouth is. Bury your doubts under the ground.
And now we gotta get to a more realistic animation. That's interesting.
Right now I'm taking my time with the matches.
And now, ooh, I liked that. I liked that. So I kind of like how now they're becoming the champions, which is really interesting. I like that. All right. Overall, I really liked it. I'm trying to think of like some of the other ones. It was I mean, I think I liked it better than last year's, if I'm remembering last year's song correctly. I still really like Phoenix. That's just me. But yeah, let's go back and let's really break it down and analyze it.
This ain't where the legends come from. You know what a hero looks like.
So very interesting. You're not what a hero looks like. I think a lot of kids kind of look up to video game players now, especially now that like video gaming is really big and people are becoming somewhat celebrities because of gaming. So most people wouldn't think that's what a hero looks like. And some people wouldn't even consider them heroes. But it's kind of taking that like heroes don't have to look heroic to be a hero. And I really like that. I really like that. It's really the ordinary people that are heroes because it doesn't have to necessarily be someone famous. It can just be someone that like you look up to that is your personal hero, and it doesn't always look what others would think it looks like. So I really like that. And it's very interesting that they went like all animated for this. I was kind of expecting like a little bit of like the players in it. I'm really liking like the juxtaposition between like it's kind of real life-esque, like everyone's been through like those security checkpoints in your car and everyone's been in an elevator, but then like it has these elements of like the supernatural, of like the fantasy, and now they're stepping from the world of like real life into this fantasy world, into this like new environment. You really, when you're playing League, you kind of have to embody the champion. You kind of have to really know how that champion works to play them effectively and to be an effective and good League player. So I'm really liking how they're taking like these players, and I really only recognize Faker, but again, as much League as my family watches, my kid would probably be able to tell you who all of these players are and who all the champions are. I couldn't. I very casually watch it. I like how they're taking like the players and then throughout the video they're kind of morphing into the champion, and that you kind of see that at the end. See, and I really like how, like, we all kind of wish, like, we had that magical power where, like, we go up to a secret wall and, like, by our presence, it's just like, yes, you are worthy. Come on in. Like, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to feel like that? I really like that. And it's like, now you're kind of entering into the training facility, which I really like. Like, yes, this is where I belong. I really like that. But like even right now, it's not the champions, it's the players themselves, which is really interesting. I mean, you think of League as you're playing as a champion, you don't actually think of the players behind it sometimes. You don't think of the players themselves actually fighting. You, when you're watching the game, you're primarily watching the champions on the screen. So it's really, I really like how they have the players actually doing the fighting at first. It's really, it ties into the whole like hero thing, and the heroes aren't what they look like, and like the power within. I really like that. And then here, like, now the beat has really picked up. So I didn't talk too much about the music at the beginning, but I really, it seems common for the world songs where things are like they start slowly, and then once you get into the chorus, like once you start getting into the action, then it really builds up. And I really like that in my music. Again, I mentioned this in another one of my reactions that I tend to do this with my own music. I think it's a very common musical trope, I guess, but it really does help tell a story. And that's really what these songs are. They're telling the story of worlds, they're telling the story of League of Legends, they're telling the story of the champions, of the players, of the teams. So it makes sense that like it wouldn't be all of one thing, it wouldn't all be one level. It would have those ebbs and flows as far as like kind of slower, more melodic, less instrumentation to like these more higher energetic parts, because that's how stories are. Their stories are very rarely one note, because if they are, they tend to be really boring. So you kind of have those ebbs and flows. And so right here, we're in the thick of like the driving beat, the driving chorus. And that's what everyone always knows most of a song is the chorus, mostly because it does get repeated a lot. And it's what's the catchiest part. So to have a really nice driving beat behind the chorus really just has a really nice energy of the song. Okay, bye bye bye. I mean, every time I hear that, I'm a child of the 90s. I will always think of NSYNC. I was more of a Backstreet Boys girl, but I mean, Bye 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 is iconic. The best man at my wedding performed the entirety of Bye Bye Bye, and I will remember that moment fondly. So anytime I hear Bye Bye Bye, I think NSYNC. I'm sorry. I'm a child of the 90s. What can I say? I do like to burn things down. Let's do it. Who wants to burn things down with me? So here now we're actually kind of, we had the players out in the real world. Now they've come into the training facility essentially. And now they're starting to get really technical with the selection of the champions. And then, right here is, we're going through all the different weapons, and we all know that each champion has their own unique weapon that with its own unique abilities. So I really like how they're having this kind of the internal thought process a player has when they're selecting champions, or, when they're looking, or when a new champion comes out, you're like, okay, what do they look like? What are their abilities? What weapons do they use? What do those weapons do? What are their attacks? What's their ult? And I kind of like it represented in a physical form like this. It's really cool because it kind of takes that mind, and it kind of puts you in the world of these champions actually exist, and this is what their physical weapons would look like. I think that's why people really like cosplays, the really realistic cosplays, because you get to take this 2D character and see it fully formed and actually see what their weapons look like. And I really like that they incorporated that into this video, because it's something that we all think about, and to actually see it is really cool. It's a good choice. Okay. I really like this metaphor, licking my plate because I'm so hungry. It's a very interesting metaphor. It's really cool. And I like how in the background, in this shot, you see all of the World Cups, and you see all of the champions kind of on a screen. They're ready for your analysis. I really like this. And it's sad that it's gone in a flash, but I really like it. It's a nice touch, nice background touch that you wouldn't normally see. So again, we're choosing the characters. We have them all. We've made our analysis, and now we're making our choices. And I really like that. The storytelling in this video is so good. So good. All the people want fire. Fire. Yeah, who doesn't want some fire? Who doesn't want to burn some stuff down? Who doesn't want to essentially rule the world? And it's nice. It's, they meet the dragon. I really like that phrase, and I really like how it came after the choice was made. I've made my choice. Now you get to meet my dragon. Or am I the dragon? I don't know. I really like that, because that could be, that time to meet their dragon can be in reference to so many things. It could be the player themselves. I'm the dragon that now everyone's going to meet. Or Like, now that we've made our selection and now we're entering the ring itself is the dragon. Are we actually talking about the dragons in the Baron and, the drakes in the game? Are we actually talking about those? I really like lyrics that can have so many different meanings. It can apply to so many different things. And yes, it can apply directly to the game of League, but it could also apply generally to anyone's life, It's like it could definitely mean that, like, now it's time to meet their dragon. It's the world is now going to meet me. I have found my inner dragon. Hello world. I'm ready to burn it all down. So it's really nice that lyrics like that can have so many different layers of meaning.
If you're gonna hold me down, you're not gonna let me in.
It's really interesting that each of the players, like each of the duos, were kind of meeting in a different location. At first, when I was watching it, I was like, oh, that's an odd choice because they all meet at, like, you meet on Summoner's Rift. But if you think about it, like, each duo will kind of meet in a different spot on Summoner's Rift, and it's very different. You have top lane, you have bot lane, jungle has its own, location, and mid lane has its own, like, there's different things within those lanes. So it kind of makes sense that, like, each duo now within the video is, like, in a different location, because you kind of are in different locations when you are first going on to Summoner's Rift and you're getting into your position and you're scoping it out and you're seeing, like, okay, who's over there? Who am I actually going to go against? And you kind of know a little bit when, you're making the choices, because each champion tends to be played in one specific location. It's that moment when, like, you're getting into position and you're meeting your enemy face on and you're in that location. So yeah, it makes sense now that going back and reflecting. Yeah, and so I like how it's the players first that come, and then when they fight, then that you have that explosion, that electricity that shoots out. And from there, now they're starting to transform into the champion. And I really like that. And it's like, it's not a fast transformation, it's a slow transformation. And I think that really plays into the song. So now we're starting to see that, like, they are not ordinary humans. We now are starting to see some more superhuman strength. And even this person right here, their face looks very human, but look at their hand. It's very robotic. That's not a human wrist. That's not human hands. Like, it's robotic with kind of like a flesh coloring to it. Now they're not humans. They are now doing things that at least I can't do. If you can, like, shoot orbs around with your hands, please let me know in the comments. I would really like to know. I would like to have a conversation. Maybe you can teach me, because that would be really cool. Like, they're becoming the champions with these really cool powers. And then here we go. So here we're starting to get the flashes. We're getting the person with the flashes of the champion, which I really like. I really like that it's not like full transformation. It's like you get those glimpses and they're really fast. It's like it's there and it's gone before you even, like, fully process it. And I really like that. That is really, the editing to do stuff like this is amazing. My videos are not this edited. I'm a one person, well, it's a 2-person operation here between Mike and myself. So our edits are not anywhere close to this level. What I think is really cool, I love the edits, because it's these little details of, like, we're popping it in. You don't fully know where it's going yet, but we're starting to give you the hint that something's happening, something big is happening. And yeah, it's just excellent storytelling. I'm sorry, NSYNC. I'm just gonna forever hear NSYNC. And I really like it. The music drops here. It drops, and, like, the orbs come at you and it fades to black for that half a second. And it is so well done. That is so impactful, where it's just like, now you're blacked out and the music just drops for a second. It's, again, that is such good storytelling. and such good music edits. I know I mentioned this in another one of my reactions, but Mozart said that it's the space between notes that make the music, and just for it to drop for just that half a second, just that split moment, is so impactful and so suspenseful. And then we're now getting into a very minimalized backtrack and just the singer, and it's very delicate here, and it's such a juxtaposition, especially between like the high action that we just saw. We were in the midst of this fight, and now it went black, and now it's slowly fading. Now we're kind of getting a pan on another character, and it's such good storytelling with music, and then the video edits just only enhance that even more. I love the glitch. I love the glitches. It's like something's about to happen. And now, so again, like players are now walking through this transformation. The glitches are happening. A transformation is happening right now, and I really like how it's mostly the player, but like it's like their old self is fading away. I really like how it's like the old is fading away and they're walking into the new. And even here, like the art style has changed a little bit. The art style has gotten a little bit more realistic. I mean, it's still very animated, but it's not quite as animated. It's more of a realistic art style. I really like it. And it's very angular. Like you can see the paint strokes, but yet it still looks so realistic. I really like that. It's giving you that fantasy element, but also keeping you kind of somewhat tied to reality. So it's that juxtaposition of you're playing champions, but they're controlled by humans. And that is really cool. It's like a metaphor for League itself. You have these very real people controlling computer generated characters. So you have that element of real and that fantasy kind of, pushed together. And that's the vibe I'm getting from this art style. And now they're starting to transform. And it's just as like, it's kind of this bridge. The music is in a bridge where you had like the verse and the chorus, and then it dropped, and now we had this bridge, and now the bridge is building. The bridge, we're starting to get more energy in the music with the bridge building. Like it's building, and once we get to the end, once we get back to the chorus, that's kind of when the transformation's complete. And again, it drops, and now you have this orb. You now are starting to see this full transformation. You almost expect it to keep going, and then it just drops again, and then you have that sound effect, like that kind of mic drop, like transformation complete. We are now fighting. It's now our champions in the real world. Full fighting. Transformation is complete. They've done their training. This is the moment. And that's what Worlds is all about. This is the moment. But it's really cool that, like, even though they've kind of transformed into these champions, they still have retained a little bit of themselves. Like Faker's iconic glasses. Like even with the iconic, like even though he's transformed, he still has that little bit of Faker in there, which is, I love that. So now, like, at first everyone was separated, and now we've all come together. And that's kind of like how League, like that's usually how a match of League starts, is everyone's kind of in their own corners. They're building up their characters, they're farming, they're having their tizzies here and there, but it's at the end where like the team finally comes together, and that's when the real action happens. You have the fights over, the Baron and the Drakes, and, the fights at the fountains and stuff. This is when all the teams actually now come together to make that final push towards victory. In sync. I'm sorry. I just think in sync. I really liked it. I think the song is very catchy and inspirational, and the video definitely tells the story of League in a way that I don't think we've seen before. It actually really incorporated the players becoming the champions, and that's kind of what has to happen if you want to be a really good League player. You have to embody that champion. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this reaction and analysis. Again, because I did a full reaction, I am not monetized on YouTube, so if you can consider becoming a patron, supporting me there, please follow me on all of my social media. Links will be in the description below. If you want to stream all of my music, and I have way more available for streaming than I do music videos, again, links will be in the description below. If you have other content that you would like to see me react to and analyze, feel free to leave a comment. I write down all of your suggestions and I will do my best to get to them. I can only do a couple a week right now on top of my other music videos and collections, but I really do appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.